that game, and even told me that Diana Taurasi was teed up from the bench.
Well, she has something to say to the officials, that's for sure.
Well, that's not the first time that's happened. Usually it's while she's playing.
And as good as Brittany Griner is playing for the Mercury, Tom, where's DeWanna Bonner? Is she going to have a big game tonight?
Has scored just 10 points in each of the last 2 games and just suffocated by Kayla Thornton the first few matchups. And you can see Thornton is incredibly physical with Bonner, who's going to have to move without the ball to try to find some openings and not take Thornton one-on-one. She is just too good of a defender. Harrison setting the screen. And the southpaw pumping it up. Alicia Gray just off the mark. And here comes Bonner.
Yeah, Gray left-handed getting that drive into the lane.
Bonner rises up against pressure. And rebounded by Harrison.
Well, Bonner had a nice step back. And that's what happened with the Sparks the other night. They had 3 wide-open shots, the Mercury did, and they missed all of them. And they really kind of sunk into a hole because the Sparks took advantage of it.
Mbawale inside of 10 on the shot clock. Into the corner, it's Thornton. Puts it on the floor, rises up, and rebounded there by DeWanna Bonner.
Now, one thing that Sandy Brondello talked about at shoot-around today was about moving. You've got to move the basketball, make them play defense on.
15-footer for Brittany Griner on her bobblehead night. Gets us started with the 2 points. And she has just been sensational, especially of late. She is the number 1 scorer right now in the WNBA, 19.7 points. And that's up on Deladon, Natasha Howard, and DeWanna Bonner, who is now 4th in the league in scoring.
Now she's had 3 games of 30-plus points. She had 30 against New York with 8 rebounds, 31 and 12 against Atlanta, and 30 and 9 and 5 assists against Washington. I think that's been the big improvement of her game, too, as far as the double, triple teams and her being able to pass out of those matchups.
Going after her second scoring title, Brittany Griner led the league in scoring back in 2017. Thornton goes down, and a blocking foul posted on Dallas.
As aggressive as defenses are against Bonner and some of the other Mercury players, when they're that aggressive as the LA Sparks were, too, then you've got to look for back doors and you've got to look to set some back screens.
Boy, just looking at Thornton, too, such a solid frame. He appears to be one of the strongest players in the league. It reminds me of kind of a P.J. Tucker type in the NBA, a kicking violation on Harrison. So the shot clock will be reset to 14.
Mitchell did a nice job coming off the screen shoulder to shoulder. Again, that's one of the things that Sandy Brondello has been a stickler about, setting good screens. And you've got to be tight coming off that screen.
Mercury have been so good at home this season, winning 7 of their 9 games on their home floor. Breaking free is Bonner, but it comes off the rim. Offensive rebound, Turner. The rookie then gives way to Bonner. A couple of offensive rebounds for Phoenix, and DeWanna will head to the line. But you can see the rookie, Brianna Turner, how good she is on the glass. 14 rebounds for the girl they call Breezy on Thursday in L.A. And over the last couple of games, she's had 12 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, 8 against the LA Sparks, and certainly with her on the boards, it has opened up things for her teammates.
Bonner, 92.5% from the stripe this season. Phoenix, the number 1 free throw shooting team in the league. But again, having that success here on their home floor, 7-2, one of the top marks at home of any team, and trying to move up because that's what they want to do. You mentioned 12 games remaining, and still the 4th through 8th seeds so close together.
And Washington and Connecticut on top at 16 and 7. And both those teams just playing at a high level.
Start of a 4-game homestand for Phoenix. Connecticut here Wednesday, then it's Atlanta and New York. Rebound for Griner. Off the Thornton miss. Thornton with the defense quickly in transition in front of DeWanna Bonner. So Bonnie Turner goes for the little 10-foot floater. Batted out into the hands of Leilani Mitchell, who's having her best WNBA season by far. Mercury turn it over, and then reaching in, trying to poke it away. Goes off of Phoenix. Dallas will still have it.
Well, it's a tough pass for Griner to get. She's got to go all the way down on that little bounce pass, and it was a nice pick and roll, and Turner thought she could get the ball high enough to Griner, and Griner couldn't grab it. But Dallas coming up with that turnover.
And Yvonne Turner was excellent in the last home game here. A blowout win over the Washington Mystics. Just shocking and stunning what Phoenix did offensively. Spinning and scoring is Gray. Past Leilani Mitchell, bucket and one.
Yeah, Alicia Gray in her third year mentioned that she was the Rookie of the Year in 2017, the number 4 pick. And nice little spin move, that left hand going back. You know, she was 2 years at North Carolina and then transferred to South Carolina to play for Dawn Staley and won a championship there.
Former Rookie of the Year trying to polish off a three-point play and does.
And then Dawn Staley was going to lead the national team.
Mm-hmm. Going back to that last home game here for Phoenix, going over the century mark against the Mystics. They pulled away by halftime and really never relinquished the lead. Washington never got closer than 13 points in the second half. It was just an impressive offensive onslaught by this Mercury team, and it harkened back to the days of Paul Westhead and even Corey Gaines when they were consistently scoring near 100 points.
Well, what you really enjoyed is they had 28 assists in that game. They shared the basketball, and they made shots.
Bonnie Turner had a career-high 22 points in that win. Leilani Mitchell was fabulous as well, coming off a game in which she knocked down 8 threes and scored a career-high 28 points in Washington. Turner tries to go up in the lane, lost it on the way up. Ogunbowale lays it up for Harrison, and she's fouled in midair by Yvonne Turner. We talked about the growth of Isabel Harrison since her days here in Phoenix, drafted by the Mercury, and really coming into her own in her 4th year out of Tennessee.
Well, exactly, out of Tennessee, and played Pat Summitt being there, and towards those last years of Pat Summitt's life, and Holly Warlick took over. But, you know, there's just a sense of a Tennessee player, a Connecticut player. They just have so much depth about them as players, and certainly when the Phoenix Mercury drafted Harrison, she was coming off an ACL, so she did not play her rookie year, and they were hoping that she could respond and rebound from that, and she was traded, and as we said, I think she's found a home in Dallas.
Yeah, traded here, part of that Liz Cambage deal with Las Vegas, as Cambage forced a trade from the wings. Inside, they find Brittany Griner.
And Griner does a nice job not only receiving the pass, but keeping the ball high. She never brought it down.
Second field goal for Griner. Another slow start for DeWanna Bonner, who begins 0 for 3, but both Bonner and Turner have 3 early rebounds. Ogunbowale, the rookie, knocks it down over the top of Brittany Griner. The green light is there for Ogunbowale as a rookie without Skylar Diggins-Smith. And again, no Cambage here this year. She has been the number 1 offensive option as a rookie for Brian Agler. But you had talked about, too, that Brian took his time. He didn't immediately insert Arike into the starting lineup.
Well, playing at Notre Dame, she became the all-time leading scorer at the University of Notre Dame, outscoring Skylar Diggins-Smith. And playing for Muffet McGraw and winning a national championship in 2018 and being in the Final Four the next year. And certainly she is, as you said, has a green light. So she creates a lot of shots for herself.
They leave Isabel Harrison, and she makes them pay. A little miscommunication on defense between Yvonne Turner and Brittany Griner, who are now talking about it on the way back down the floor. 8-6 Dallas on top.
Well, there's only 2 players for this Wings team that shoot over 45%. That's Harrison and Gray from the floor, unless you've got Gustafson coming off the bench, the rookie, and she's only played in 14 games. But this is a team, so you want to force them to take shots that they're not used to. And right now, Harrison knocking down that one, and they've got the lead, the Wings.
Breon January is in for Phoenix after missing last couple of games with a foot injury. Again, limited to 16 minutes here tonight. It rolls in for DeWanna Bonner after missing her first 3 shots. Finally, a friendly rim. It's been difficult for her offensively over the last couple of games. 0 of 10 3-point range and missing 20 of her 26 shots.
Yeah, most of this season, she and Brittany Griner have gone back and forth as the number 1 scorer, number 2 scorer. She's number 4 right now.
Gray pumps it in. Alicia Gray from the outside. Strong start for the starting guard. 2 of 3, 5 points for Gray. Inside, all alone, Brittany Griner, and she jams it. Dunk number 13 in her WNBA career, including the playoffs.
A pick and roll that was wide open, and Harrison and Johnson got mixed up. And a good heads-up play by Little off the pass.
13 dunks for Brittany. That doesn't include the 3 that she had in the All-Star game. Mercury forced the turnover. January holds up and then waits for Bonner, who streaks in for 2.
And that's all because of the defense. Going to get fast break opportunities.
January, too. Breon January looked like she was going to try to take Kayla Thornton one-on-one. She hesitated and found DeWanna Bonner, but it's Brittany Griner on her bobblehead night, slamming it down here in the first quarter. Brittany already with 6 points, and Phoenix on top by 2. Brittany Griner with a jam, and a fan just hit a shot from beyond the three-point line for $7,777.
It's a good way to start.
That's a great first quarter.
And Griner 3 of 3 from the floor for her 6 points, and Bonner's got 6 points. She got on track. She's 2 of 5, but she's made a couple baskets early in this first quarter, which is good for her to get on track.
And it's good for Sandy Brondello to have more able bodies. Last time we did a broadcast here at home, it was 5 players on the injured list. They had just signed Erica Carter to make it 8 available bodies, and now Breon January is back. They also signed Asia Taylor, so more of a full roster for Phoenix.
Now Brian Agler staying with Kayla Thornton with those 2 fouls.
Drew Bawale trying to shake January, not an easy task. Glory Johnson pours it in from the outside. 3-point hit for Glory.
That's her 21st. She shoots almost 38% from three-point range.
Comes in averaging 7.6 rebounds. Had a season-high 18 in
tough
Seattle.
shot.
Offensive rebound. Camille Little battling for it. Picks it up in the corner. And a reset. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Bonner from deep. Amani McGee-Stafford has checked in during that timeout. Floater by the Rook. Didn't fall. And another rebound for DeWanna Bonner as she gobbles up her 4th board. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Camille Little in off the floor, playing in her final WNBA season. And a foul from behind on McGee-Stafford as Griner was posting up. It was just shocking how alone Brittany Griner was when she went in for that jam. Obviously a mix-up defensively by Dallas, but how can you lose the 6'9" Brittany Griner right in the lane?
Well, the thing that was impressive is that she did dunk the basketball, because that All-Star game, she had 3 dunks in that All-Star game. Probably could have had 6. She had 3 3-point shots that she missed. But everybody's been telling her to dunk the basketball. You've got to have confidence in yourself and other people, too, and her teammates did.
Kicked out of bounds.
And I think
Glory Johnson, so Phoenix will have it.
But I think, Tom, when you have enough people telling you to go ahead and do it, it gives you the confidence to go. And even though she was wide open, normally in the past she has laid those shots up.
Mm-hmm. And really flat-footed. She caught that ball right underneath the basket, so she didn't have any sort of momentum to carry her to that rim. Harrison comes back in. Kayla Thornton picked up 2 early fouls for Dallas, so they're already dealing with some foul difficulty here in the first quarter. January bounce feed to Griner. Camille Little pump fake and knocks it down right at the free throw line.
Now, Little may not get a lot of minutes, but she's an impact player for the Mercury off the bench.
She had a nice string over the course of 5 games, double figures in 3 of those, so she can provide some offensive punch off the bench. Thornton is back out there playing with the 2 fouls, being defended now by the rookie Sophie Cunningham. Cunningham there defensively, hand in the face, and forces an errant shot. Doesn't even catch the iron, so a shot clock violation on Dallas. And you can see a very frustrated Kayla Thornton right now with her teammates.
Yeah, Bonner out of the game, and Cunningham coming in, who's a physical player too, and matching up against Thornton. And they just didn't get into an offensive set.
January takes the handoff from Little, now using a screen from Griner. 3-point attempt, down it goes for Breon January.
I was here early at the arena before shoot-around, and January was already out here with Johnny Mack, the strength and conditioning coach, working on her shot, working on steps, working on her conditioning, and just the attitude and the idea of how many shots she was making after being off with that foot injury.
January led the WNBA in 3-point percentage last year, has struggled this season from behind the line. Offensive rebound and a stick back by McGee-Stafford.
Now, Griner had to go over and help, and Stafford was right there to put it back in.
Dancing along the baseline with Sophie Cunningham, trying to stay inbounds, but she steps out, and Phoenix coughs it up to Dallas, who are at the minute 15 to go in the first.
Yeah, you'd like to think that the Mercury would have a bigger lead, but give the Wings a lot of credit. They are staying right in there.
Wings 43% from the field. Phoenix 41%.
Now, the Wings are the worst team in the league in scoring and number 11 in field goal percentage.
Both teams with 1 3-point hit. Both teams with 2 free throws. Very even here in the opening quarter. And that's the thing with Agler and Dallas. Even though their records is 6-17, they have been very competitive. Exactly. And you mentioned one of those wins coming against the Phoenix Mercury. Phoenix winning 2 of 3 this season. And they have held Dallas under 70 points all 3 meetings.
Well, they beat Connecticut by 1. They beat Minnesota. They beat Los Angeles.
Those are some quality wins.
And they beat New York.
That's why we have the Hall of Famer here. It's just right there, right at the tip of your fingers.
I just follow your lead.
Still, your research is better than anybody's. So a delay here. And Dallas will have it. They have 14 seconds on the shot clock. Apparently that's what they're trying to rectify right now. And they inbound it to Gray. Pitch it over to Harrison. Defended there by Camille Little. Shot clock inside of 10. Inside it goes to Thornton. She puts it in. Fouled by Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah, the Wings did a nice job on the weak side getting that screen, and Thornton cutting down underneath the basket. Quick passes. Yeah, they said a quick screen, and Cunningham couldn't do anything about it.
A lot of conversation going on for both teams about switching defensively. Sophie Cunningham talking to Yvonne Turner. Earlier it was Turner and Brittany Griner. Dallas has had their mix-ups. Obviously the Brittany Griner dunk and a couple other possessions. So both teams just don't seem to be on the same page defensively. Even though neither team has reached the 20-point mark here in the first quarter. And the field goal percentages are pretty low at this point. Griner harassed there by McGee Stafford. January cut off by Thornton. Sophie wants 3. Too deep. Dallas can go 2 for 1 if they so choose, but Kayla Davis taking her time running the offensive set, and now Brian Agler is going to call a timeout. Oh, down on the floor, we have an injury. That's is that Alicia Gray over there? Boy, I did not see. She was down on the floor and now has gotten up. She is bent over, but she was in some serious pain.
Well, it certainly was off the ball. Shot that Cunningham took. I don't know if it was off a screen that she caught in her chest and kind of breathing pretty hard.
So Alicia Gray being attended to. There's 31 seconds to go here in the opening quarter, and we'll take a timeout here. Still trying to figure out what happened to Alicia Gray. And Dallas now coming out of their huddle. We'll see if Alicia will finish out this first quarter. McGee Stafford is out there along with Kayla Davis, Thornton, Isabel Harrison, and it looks like Brooke McCarty-Williams will close out the quarter for Dallas. McGee Stafford over to Thornton. They're trying to post up Harrison. Face up on Camille Little. Fading away. Comes up short. Tipped out by McGee Stafford. And that's McCarty-Williams now looking up at the clock. On the move, it's Kayla Davis. Back out to McCarty-Williams. Fires it in for 3. Wow, coming in for Alicia Gray, netting the three-pointer. Final 5 seconds here of the first quarter. It's a 4-point Wings lead. Turner not close and fouled on the release. 3 free throws coming for Yvonne Turner, who was fouled there by Kayla Davis.
Yeah, Brian Agler not happy about that. Davis came down and wanted to try and just distract the shot and got a little bit too close on that screen.
Yeah, she was trying to fight through that Griner screen. And got part of Bonnie Turner, who will have 3 shots at the line to try to close out this first quarter. 1.5 on the clock after the tosses by Turner.
You know, McCarty-Williams with a big-time shot over there. She was a rookie this year. She went undrafted and invited into the training camp. Played in Texas. smart point guard.
Turner has missed only once at the line this year. She's now 18 of 19. Knocks down all 3 free throws, and we are done with one. The foul and the ensuing free throws for Yvonne Turner, making it a 1-point game. It's Dallas 21, Phoenix 20. You're watching Phoenix Mercury basketball, presented by Casino Arizona. Brittany Griner with dunk number 13 in her WNBA career, and one fan wins $7,000 every time Brittany Griner dunks in a 2019 regular season home game. With that dunk, BG just won one lucky registered Mercury fan $7,000. Today's winner will be randomly selected and notified this week. But if you're not already registered, go to phoenixmercury.com/BGDunks right now. Don't miss your chance to be the next winner. A couple of winners as well. A fan that hit the three-pointer during a timeout, $7,000 to him. Another $7,000 to another lucky fan after BG's jam.
And Diana Taurasi on the bench trying to get her teammates going. Brittany Griner is starting the second quarter on the bench. Turner and Little will be the bigs, along with Bonner on the front line.
In street clothes. It's just been a mystery with Diana Taurasi. She tried to come back, played part of one game against Connecticut. Tweaked the back.
9 minutes.
And really have not received any word about her condition, availability, or the possibility of her playing at some point this season. That was the hope going into the year. General Manager Jim Pittman and head coach Sandy Brondello, following that back surgery that Taurasi had, they had hoped that maybe she would resume playing for this team after the All-Star break, and they would be in tune with Diana come playoff time. Bonnie Turner wide open for 3. Absolutely.
Yeah, good patience there, and Bonner getting inside the lane with the kick out.
Second three-point hit for Phoenix. Bonnie Turner now has 6 points. That 3, and then the 3 free throws at the end of the first quarter. Dallas had 7 different players score in the opening period. Shot clock inside of 5. McGee Stafford turns.
And
it's only the backboard. Bonner was there defensively, had help. Brianna Turner, great hands and finish.
Yeah, great hands to catch that with the left hand and bring it back down. And Igwe, a little bit late getting down there.
Another assist for Phoenix. That is now number 7 there. Passing it around, and that was the secret to their success in the win over the Mystics here at home. The blowout win. One of the best offensive performances we've seen here in Phoenix by the Mercury team in years. Little goes down. Crashing into Little was Gunbowale.
Bonner with the one-handed pass, and Turner a little bit off balance coming off that finish, but does a nice job using the backboard.
We were talking to Sandy Brondello before the game about Brianna Turner and how she has turned her season around. Very minimum amount of playing time in her first 16 games, and now all of a sudden is in the starting lineup, and she is. Sandy said that Brianna has just stayed ready. She's always competitive, always open to advice and coaching from the likes of Jen Gillum, the entire staff.
Well, she's talked about how difficult this year has been because of not only the injuries, but the rookies and players. And then you had Vonnie Turner leave. Leilani Mitchell was cut. Who was going to be your point guard back and forth? And so the adjustment in the chemistry has taken so long, and other players filling in. And certainly Turner...
And her position as well, because she's more of a 5 coming in to the WNBA, and she's now playing the power forward spot.
She's had to fill in at that 4 spot. But, you know, we talk about Jen Gillum and comparing her Turner to Natasha Howard, who's having a spectacular year for Seattle, too.
Yeah, definitely in the MVP conversation with Griner. An offensive foul on the pick by Camille Little, trying to spring Dawana. Those are the problems that Thornton poses. I mean, Phoenix will find themselves sometimes in foul difficulty taking on this Dallas team as they even just set screens to try to free Bonner away from Thornton. He's just one of the top defensive players. Dallas is pushing Thornton to be a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year.
Gustafson in the game. And
sent away by Turner. There's the rookie against fellow rookie Gustafson, and she sends it into the front row.
Yeah, Gustafson was Player of the Year last year out of Iowa and makes a nice move to the left, and Turner is right there. Just great hops.
Thornton, quick fire 3.
Boy, what a pretty shot.
Beautiful rotation on that release by Thornton. And we're tied up at 25. Dallas now 3 of 6 from three-point range. Leilani Mitchell pull up and hit on the wrist by McCarty Williams, and 2 free throws for Lay.
Brian Agler putting in McCarty Williams with that matchup, 5'5", 5'4". And sometimes when you have a player that's the same size as you, that you're able to stay with them. Sometimes when you're a bigger guard and you have to defend somebody smaller, it is hard.
Thornton over there having a conversation with Ashley Gilpin, the referee. It's interesting, too, because Thornton and McCarty Williams are both undrafted for this Dallas team. Alicia Gray returns. That's a good sign for Dallas after she went down late in that first quarter with what appeared to be some sort of a chest injury. Leilani Mitchell, career best in scoring, assists, and rebounds this year. She's averaging 13 points, 4.4 assists, and 3 boards. And in her last 4 games, Leilani Mitchell has averaged 21 points per game. 21 points per game in the last 4 for Leilani Mitchell, who was cut earlier in the season and then re-signed by this Mercury team.
And she's taking care of the basketball.
Shot clock down to 4, down to 3. Gray looks up. Had it knocked away by Leilani Mitchell, and a turnover for Dallas as the shot clock blew up.
The defense by the Mercury forcing the Wings out on the perimeter. It just could not get inside.
Neither team has led by more than 4 points in a very tight first half. Phoenix has won 4 straight at home, 7-2 on their home floor this season. Pushed along the baseline was Mitchell. She steps out of bounds, and they call violation against Phoenix.
They took that force-out rule away a long time ago.
Oh, boy, that was a bit of a reach there by Isabel Harrison, but Dallas gets away with it, and they are a tenacious defensive team. That is one thing you will always get from a Brian Agler coach team: effort and energy and competitive fire. Those are the type of players he's always wanted on his team. Off the front iron by Thornton, looking for another three-pointer.
Yeah, good hustle by Turner.
You see that athleticism and quickness for Brianna Turner, chasing down some of those rebounds. She is so fleet-footed, very smooth. Cross-court feed. Little runs into Gustafson and draws the contact. Gustafson's such an interesting story, too. The 22-year-old rookie out of Iowa, 2019 Women's College Player of the Year. And here she is defending Camille Little. But she was a second-round pick, cut, and then re-signed by Dallas. So similar to what we were talking about with Leilani Mitchell, who was cut early in the season and re-signed. Same thing for Gustafson, who led the nation in scoring the past 2 years. And this past season at Iowa, 28 points, 13 rebounds per game.
She's also number 5 in the NCAA in field goal percentage with over 65%. Last year, she shot 70% from the floor.
Definitely worth a gamble for any team in the league. Gustafson, when you have that kind of success in college ball, and still she's not taken until the second round.
You still have to be patient with rookies. You know, some rookies are going to develop a little quicker than others. And if you're with the right team, the right coach, the right system, sometimes it works, and sometimes you have to be patient.
Phoenix has 3 players right now with 6 points to lead them in scoring. DeWanna Bonner has 6, Griner with 6, and Bonnie Turner 6.
And Thornton is high scorer with 6 for the Wings.
Each team spreading it around, the entire roster. Griner spins, turns, misfires, and Brianna Turner is there to clean up. She has been incredibly impressive and gets a tap on the head by Brittany Griner.
Yeah, she's got 5 rebounds and 4 points.
And making Jen Gillum look like a soothsayer, like she knew what was going to happen this season. Gillum had said that. You're going to see massive improvement from Breezy Turner throughout the course of this rookie year. And that certainly has been the case, especially the past couple of weeks. And you talked about the fact that Jen Gillum brought up the name Natasha Howard to describe the skills of Brianna Turner, and those skills on display here in downtown Phoenix. 5-point lead for Phoenix. That is their biggest. Learn hip-hop groove dance moves and score some autographs Dance Away with Wheezy, Dewana, and Sophie on the main court here at Talking Stick Resort Arena Monday from 6 to 7:30 p.m., courtesy of Steward Healthcare. For information, visit phoenixmercury.com/promotions. From Wheezy to Breezy, Brianna Turner, the rookie, who also played at Notre Dame with Arike Agumbawale, who is, of course, the good-looking rookie from the Dallas Wings. But Turner has a fascinating background.
She grew up in Texas. Her mom played basketball at Houston. Her dad played basketball at Lamar. She was a National High School Player of the Year and swam all the way up to the age of 11.
So smooth out there on the basketball court. And probably great conditioning, too. Swimmers have some of the best endurance of any athlete.
And she's had, ruptured ACL, where she had to miss. And she's played 3-on-3 USA basketball. She's a 3-time ACC Defensive Player of the Year. But Brian Agler not happy about this, and he feels that January was moving on this and got in the way. Not much Monty Stafford could do.
Second foul on McGee Stafford. Gustafson has 2, and Kayla Thornton with 3 personal fouls here in the first half. A rare miss at the free throw line for Breon January. Came in 19 of 21 free throw shooting, 91% this season. And missed the last 2 games with a foot injury, goes 1 of 2 at the stripe. And the lead is 6.
Now, all season long, she played injured last year, not only with a bad foot, but a bad shoulder.
Had surgery on that shoulder during the offseason. McGee Stafford shoots over Brittany Griner.
Now, McGee Stafford, nice shot from the baseline.
4 points, hitting both of her shots. Coming off the bench for Dallas, Leilani Mitchell. This time, they will call a foul along the baseline. Last time, Leilani stepped out of bounds, felt she was pushed. And for Dallas, in the penalty situation, so free throws coming for Leilani Mitchell.
Well, we talked about the tempo of this game, and the Wings have really been aggressive. They have not backed down offensively, but the Mercury getting to the free throw line. This will be number 12 and 13 for them in this first half.
Only 6 free throw attempts so far for Dallas. These two teams met in the first round of the playoffs, the elimination game last season. Dallas went 15-19 during the regular season, then played Phoenix in the elimination game at ASU in Tempe, and the Mercury won that game 101-83. And boy, those were the days for Dallas, though, when they had Skylar Diggins-Smith, who had 23 in that game. Liz Cambage, 22. Still, it wasn't enough to match DeWanna Bonner's 29, and Tarazi scored 26 to eliminate the Dallas Wings.
Ogunbowale does a nice job there getting in the lane, stopping just below the free throw line. And when she went up, January barely touched her, but got caught running by her and gets herself to the free throw line.
So Ogunbowale, 5th overall pick out of Notre Dame. Mentioned she played there with Brianna Turner. And then you have Nafisa Collier of Minnesota, who is the 6th overall. And I think most people right now, when you look at the matrix of the numbers game between these two, would give the nod right now to Collier as far as the Rookie of the Year race is concerned.
Well, I'm sure there's some other kids out there, but those two are probably the top picks as far as Rookie of the Year at this point. And Minnesota's a playoff team, and Collier, as far as what she does on the floor, on both ends of the floor for them, she has stepped into Maya Moore's spot very nicely.
First hoop for Leilani Mitchell. She has 4 free throws, so 6 points from Mitchell. And now Phoenix has 4 different players who have scored 6 in the first half. Bonner, along with Griner, Leilani Mitchell, and Yvonne Turner.
Now, Wings putting a lot of pressure on the Mercury to get back on defense, and they get themselves to the free throw line again.
I can't recall this kind of similar distribution for 2 teams in the first half. 4:17 to go until halftime. Nobody scoring more than 6 points in a game. Dallas has 2 players who have scored 6, Kayla Thornton and Alicia Gray. And now Gray with 7.
Now, this is certainly going to be a game that's a grind-out game.
35-31 Phoenix. Back home Wednesday against the Connecticut Sun, tied with Washington for the best record in the league. And a hold and a foul, and more free throws coming for Phoenix and Leilani Mitchell.
And one of the things that Sandy Brondello talked about before the game was that We're going to set screens, and as soon as we come off those screens, we're looking to shoot the basketball or be aggressive in attack.
So if you look at the WNBA standings right now, Connecticut and Washington atop the heap at 16-7, followed by LA. They are the hottest team in the league right now, 14-8. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. Vegas then the 4th seed, 15-9, followed by Chicago.
And that's without Asia Wilson. She's missed quite a few games.
Mm-hmm. Seattle has had quite the season. We're talking about without Breanna Stewart, without Sue Bird, and what a job Dan Hughes has done. Yeah, it wasn't there to begin the year. Minnesota, all the changes that they have undergone. They're the 7th seed. Phoenix,
Chicago, and a new coach. But Quigley and Vandersloot keep getting things done. Oh, nice steal.
Bonner with the interception of the pass by Thornton. Leilani Mitchell on the push. Floater. Couldn't get it. And jerked out of there by Glory Johnson.
And McGee Stafford was right there and got an arm up.
6-point lead for Phoenix. That has been their biggest here in the first half. And
8-second count.
Wow, 8-second violation against Dallas. Taking her time dribbling the ball up the floor was the rookie Agunbowale.
You don't see that too much.
Brian Agler, not happy with that turnover.
I think everybody was a little perplexed.
Those 8 seconds can go pretty quickly. Yeah, how many times do you see it get to that 6-7 second mark and all of a sudden, boy, they hurry across that half-court line. That was used to be the 10-second violation when they cut off 2 seconds trying to speed up action. It certainly has had an effect.
Well, in the All-Star game, they went down to a 20-second shot clock.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting to see what happens in the future of the NBA and the WNBA.
Yeah, live substitutions in that game as well. Griner looking for Turner. Pretty assist and a better finish by Breanna Turner.
Well, the one thing that Breanna Turner does is she recognizes where Griner is, and she cuts to the basket instead of standing.
And Griner's talking about how they have developed chemistry over the last week or two. And we saw it right there. See, it's only going to get better. Griner looking for the rookie, and likewise, the rookie laying it into Brittany Griner. Rebound there by Turner. Bonner looking up ahead, looking for an opportunity to push the pace. Inside of 3 minutes to go until halftime. Thornton stuck to Bonner, rams into Griner, tries to force up a shot. Bonner hoping to draw a foul. And now out of the backcourt comes Agunbowale. Pushes off on Breon January. And let's see if this is an offensive foul or no. I think they're going to bust January.
Well, that arm was straight out. Yeah, they're going to call it on January. But Griner opened things up when she had to go to Thornton, and Ogunbowale took advantage of it going down the court.
Wow, a straight arm by Agunbowale. 6-point lead for Phoenix, and we're back after this. Animated conversation between Sandy Brondello and the officials. Tim Green, Billy Smith were in on the conversation, but that was a serious stiff arm by the rookie Agunbowale. I think Bo Jackson and Barry Sanders would have been impressed with that.
Yeah, Sandy Brondello spent some time out there and saying that was exactly what you said, a stiff arm, but the officials saw it a different way, and the Wings cut it to 6. Chance to get another point.
Phoenix has outscored Dallas 19-12 so far here in the second quarter.
Well, they're out-rebounding the Wings also, 15-10.
Outshooting them 46% to 39%. Agunbowale with a 3-point play after the questionable foul call on Breon January. And Enrique now has 8. And that leads Dallas.
Oh, a nice screen by Griner.
January misses everything. Tracked down by Turner. Another offensive rebound. Shot clock's down to 5. Bonnie Turner almost had a chance at a 3-point play, but more second quarter free throws for Phoenix. So Dallas getting into the penalty situation early, and it's paying dividends for Phoenix.
Yeah, Breanna Turner with another offensive rebound. She's got 7 boards.
And that was her 4th offensive rebound. So 4 of her 7 rebounds have come on the offensive glass.
That has just changed so much for the Mercury to have somebody down there making things happen.
And a lot of those are long rebounds, too, and she's able to use that footwork and the quickness to track them down. Good to go with the line for Turner. And she and Leilani Mitchell, the starting backcourt, each with 8 points for Phoenix to lead the way. Biggest lead for Phoenix has been 8, nearing the 2-minute mark here of the second quarter. Gray rams into Turner. Turner strips it away and then fouled in the backcourt by Gray.
Well, Gray is left-handed, and she came around that screen to the right when she received that ball, and Turner just put her hands right down there as Gray received it and came up with the steal and the foul.
And guess what? More free throws coming for Phoenix. The Mercury took 5 free throw attempts in the first quarter. They already have 12 here in the second period.
They are 10 of 17, or 15 of 17 as a team, and the Wings are 9 of 11.
Turner is a perfect 6 of 6 at the line. Mitchell also 6 for 6 from the stripe. So that's starting backcourt. We talked about their point totals, but they have been dead eyes at the line. Now 13 of 13 from the line for the starting backcourt for Phoenix.
Because in the last game against the Sparks, Vonnie Turner and Bonner really struggled from the floor.
Turner trying to shadow Agumbawale, fighting through the McGee-Stafford screen. Hand in the face, forcing the missed shot, tipped out of bounds, and Dallas will have it.
Now, Izzy Harrison did a nice job flying in there to keep it alive, but you can just see Ogumbawale is just such a good one-on-one player, but she's looking for her shot. We mentioned that she takes about 15 shots a game, and she's had quite a few games where 7 times she's taken 20 shots.
Kayla Davis driving baseline. Followed there by Bonner, now finds Alicia Gray. Gray in a switch, covered by Turner. And Turner was right there suffocating Alicia Gray, but she's hit with a personal.
Well, Bonner had a shot like that earlier, and when she was coming across the lane and threw it up there and thought that she got hit, it was the same kind of shot. And Gray, turning over her shoulder, gets herself to the free throw line.
Yeah, take a look at the pivot foot or the pivot feet for Alicia Gray on the switch. Yep.
Yeah, she lifted that left foot.
Happy feet. Boy, that was terrific defense by Bonnie Turner.
Yeah, terrific camera work, too.
Aha. Producer David Hughes all over it, although he was probably tipped off by whoever the highlight machine is up there in the master control room. 43-37. Phoenix on top. Dallas now 12 of 14 from the free throw line. Phoenix 17 of 19 at the line. Griner on the baseline. Trying to swing past McGee-Stafford, and Stafford is hit with the personal.
Now, Griner was 3 for 3 in that first quarter. She is 0 for 3 in the second quarter.
McGee-Stafford picking up her 4th personal foul.
And this is Griner's first free throws.
82% from the line this year for Brittany, and comes up shy on the first. So yeah, this is going to be a interesting MVP race. And you talk about Deladon and what she's doing with Washington, Jonquel Jones. You mentioned Natasha Howard. Bonner has always been in the conversation the way she started the season. Asia Wilson, if she can get healthy.
Nneka Ogwumike.
Sylvia Fowles, that still have her name up there in consideration at this point, but a lot can happen. Agumbawale again in a one-on-one matchup with January, using that size, and now some words exchanged between January and the rookie. It has become very testy after that stiff arm by Agumbawale, and then more physical tactics on that drive by Enrique, and Breon January taking exception.
Well, after the call, again, there was a grab there somewhere. Ogumbawale is not going to back down, and neither is January. In January, the veteran looked like she got right into the chest of Ogumbawale.
And a
little bit of a push-off, and then something is said, or the look, or whatever.
Yeah, that was the Rook. The Rook with the look toward January. I mean, she had a little bit of a stare at Breon January, who had basically her momentum took her out of bounds.
Well, they just split them up. So, and that's the right call. Nothing happened. You know, they calmed it down. I don't think that in those situations you always have to call technicals. Mm-hmm. And, but
January cheering the missed free throw.
Let her rub it in a little bit.
She was clapping in Ogunbowale's face, too, after the foul. But January is very feisty, very aggressive. Again, we've talked about her being a Defensive Player of the Year in college, and she's been one of the top defensive guards in the league.
And now they're going at it at the other end. Clapping as Ogunbowale while she defends Breon January.
Well, the biggest thing is keep your poise.
Leilani probing, finding Duana Bonner, blocked but fouled by McGee Stafford.
In the past, we've seen the Mercury lose it. When they've gotten in emotional situations, they have a tendency to go overboard. But right now, they've kind of kept it cool. And nice dish off right there. A little pump fake by Bonner. Gets sandwiched in between.
And this is going to be 18 free throws attempted in the second quarter alone for Phoenix. They've already put up 16, and 2 more are coming from Bonner.
You know, we talked about who's going to control the tempo of this game. Are the Mercury going to come out and be aggressive? Well, obviously they have been if they're shooting this many free throws in this first half.
Bonner, the 3-time All-Star, had 3 straight games scoring 20 or more, and then back-to-back held at 10. And right now, Bonner, after the free throws, has 8. 8.6 rebounds, a couple of assists, but only 2 of 7 from the field. Phoenix, 8-point lead. Their biggest has been 9. Final 30 seconds here of the half. Ogunbowale against January, and now a blocking foul on Breon. Both teams in the penalty, so back to the line goes Ogunbowale.
And January picking up her 4th personal foul.
4 fouls in 10 minutes. It has been spicy between January and Enrique. Sophie Cunningham will replace January, and she will head to the bench with those 4 personals.
Ogunbowale is 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 2 of 7, still struggling from the floor as far as her shot is concerned.
11 for Ogunbowale, 10 for Alicia Gray, 21 from that starting backcourt of Dallas. Phoenix's backcourt of Mitchell and Turner have been excellent as well, 18 combined. 4 seconds separating the game clock from the shot clock. Mitchell lobs it over to Breonna Turner. One dribble, puts it up, chases her own miss. Still time on the clock for Dallas. Here comes Ogunbowale. She loves those last second shots, but she gives it up to Mitchell, and we are headed to halftime with Phoenix on top 40.
Game because they're aggressive, but also they've only allowed Griner 6 shots. She was 0 for 3 in the second quarter, and so Griner with 7 points, only 1 rebound, and she is tied in assists in that first half with Bonner with 2.
And Bonner's offensive struggles continue over the last couple of games, only scoring 10 points in each, and begins this one 2 of 7 from the field in the first half. Kayla Thornton drains a 3-pointer from the corner to begin the second half for Dallas.
Thornton was 1 of 5 from 3-point range in that first half, and right away comes out of the gates.
Now, you talked about her beautiful shooting stroke. She is such a demon on defense, but has the offensive skill set as well.
Yeah, one undrafted, played at Texas El Paso.
In and out for Leilani Mitchell. Gosh, shake your head, go, how could she not be drafted? Just the physical stature of Kayla Thornton.
Now, Leilani Mitchell has not hit a 3. She did not take a 3 in that first half.
Lori Johnson defended by the rookie Turner. Reaching in was Leilani Mitchell, and still connecting on the shot is Johnson. Second field goal for Glory. 5 points, couple rebounds, couple of assists for the veteran. I mentioned some of her best games have come against the Phoenix Mercury. She's had her career high in scoring and rebounding against Phoenix, and an offensive foul on Phoenix and Duana Bonner.
And when Bonner frustrated, she felt that she was being held. And Thornton, again, we talked about how physical she is. She stays right on you. And we'll see Bonner come around the screen. Oh, we miss it a little bit, but gets Thornton in the mouth and a foul on the Mercury.
Sandy Brondello said that was going to be the key for Bonner in this one, as she has been held in check the first 3 meetings by Kayla Thornton.
Well, the other
thing is, she needs to move and not try to just go one-on-one. Good one-on-one defense there by Breonna Turner, and a traveling violation against Glory Johnson.
The other thing that the Wings have really done a terrific job on the defensive end is forcing the Mercury not to score off passes. And they have been held to only 8 assists in that first half. And they're so effective when everybody's moving and they're passing the ball. And so the Wings have done a nice job as far as forcing the Mercury kind of taking some bad shots.
Boy, you can see the frustration with Duana Bonner, and it has been a struggle against Thornton, who is all over her again. In the first 3 meetings, Bonner missed 23 of her 27 shots when going against Kayla Thornton.
Well, I thought Turner was going to have that tip back in and jams it up into that rim, but Griner's got to be more aggressive with her shot. She's got to go into the defensive player.
Isabel Harrison cut off by
Nice
Griner
cut.
and then finds Thornton inside for the bucket. And now a quick timeout called by Sandy Brondello. 7:53 to go here in the third quarter. And Dallas has jumped out to a 1-point lead, outscoring Phoenix 7-0 to begin the second half. Join the Mercury as they take on the New York Liberty during Wellness Sunday, brought to you by Steward Healthcare. Wellness Sunday is August 18th at 3 p.m. Those in attendance will receive health tips from the Mercury's main health provider. Secure your tickets now at phoenixmercury.com. Phoenix not healthy to begin the third quarter in terms of the scoreboard. Dallas 7-0 to begin the second half. And a sweet feed here by Harrison finding Kayla Thornton.
Yeah, Griner did a nice job stopping Harrison, and then the nice cut by Thornton on the baseline. And Brian Adler wanted a foul on that, but as you said, a 7-0 to run, and 3 of those baskets, 2 of them by assists.
And Phoenix goes right to Brittany Griner out of that timeout.
And really, that's the key. Again, Dallas has done a terrific job keeping Griner out of the game offensively, the leading scorer in the league, and she has got to look for the ball.
Thornton curling off the screen, and then a moving
Bonner got
pick
the call there
by Agunbowale. Bonner ramming into Arike, who's tagged with the personal foul.
I think that's one of the first offensive fouls we've seen on the Wings.
Well, during that timeout, Duana Bonner had an animated conversation with the officials. Felt like she was fouled at the other end, the offensive end. Bonnie Turner pumps it up, rebounded by Harrison.
Now, it's a good screen. It's a nice play. But again, I thought Griner's got to go up for the shot. When she gets it down that deep, she's got to look to score.
Thornton picked up by Brianna Turner. Now it's Glory Johnson. Step back, fading in the lane. Beautiful shot by the veteran Glory Johnson.
Yeah, she's hit that twice.
Missed 9 of her 10 shots last game in Seattle. Griner pitch it over to Brianna Turner. Goes to the left hand, scooping through the lane. Picked up by Griner. 14 seconds back on the shot clock, and the one-handed finish by Brittany.
Yeah, you can't stop those long steps.
Griner in double figures with 11. 5 of 9 shooting. Alicia Gray cut off by Mitchell. Now it's Agunbowale. One-on-one against Vonnie Turner. Holds her ground. Izzy Harrison pours it in from the baseline.
The Wings
Quick
have come
release.
out. They've come out in this third quarter taking control.
Second field goal for Harrison. Mitchell pops free and drills the three-pointer.
That's only her 4th shot, her first 3.
11 for Griner, 11 for Mitchell, 10 for Turner. The 3 Mercury players in double figures. Gumbawale going under the screen was Turner, and the rebound to Brianna Turner. Yvonne went under the screen, and Agumbawale had a good look at that shot. The pass tipped out of bounds by Harrison. Still plenty of time on the shot clock for Phoenix. 5:40 to go here in the third quarter. Start of a 4-game homestand for Phoenix. Back at it Wednesday to take on Connecticut, the team tied for the best record in the league with Washington at 16-7. Then it's Atlanta here Friday and New York Sunday. Griner trying to turn and spin free of Glory Johnson and still connects. Pressure right in her face, but Griner is coming to life offensively here in the third.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some really nice fadeaway shots by Griner this season, but she's so effective when she comes right at the defense.
Never has to worry that her shot will ever be blocked. Johnson with a dribble handoff to Gray. Shot clock down to 3 to 2 for Agumbawale off the front iron. And a rebound snatched by Duana Bonner.
Agumbawale's still struggling. She's 2 of 9 from the floor.
Bonner's done a nice job on the board. 7 rebounds.
Yvonne Turner bails out to Mitchell. Mitchell using the Griner screen and connects.
Boy, she does such a nice job when she uses that screen and stops and gives herself lots of space.
Lay hits a three and then a 2-point jump shot. Timeout, Brian Agler, who is screaming at the official Tim Green as we go to a break. 57-51 Phoenix. Biggest lead of the night for Phoenix has been 9. They watch Dallas go on a 7-0 run to begin the second half. And Asia Taylor has come onto the floor now for Phoenix. Leilani Mitchell with 13 points, along with Griner, 10 for Yvonne Turner. So Asia Taylor, 6-year player out of Louisville, signed a 7-day contract as part of the NBA giving Phoenix a hardship exemption amidst all the injuries. Mitchell trailing Alicia Gray has a chance at a three-point play. Strong finish by Gray.
Yeah, Mitchell knew, too. I mean, once Gray got that corner, she's so strong. And again, being left-handed, sometimes you forget to cut that spot off as a left-hander.
Interesting substitution, too, by Sandy Brandella, bringing in Asia Taylor, wanting to give her some minutes. Taylor was released by Minnesota last month, but she's very familiar with Leilani Mitchell. They're out there together. They were WNBA All-Stars in Australia. Teammates there in the Aussie League. Taylor's definitely bounced around. Minnesota, Washington, Indiana, Connecticut. And now on a 7-day contract with Phoenix. They go to Griner. Turns, fires, can't hit. There's Taylor with the offensive rebound. Step back, good look at a shot, couldn't hit. Her first attempt for Phoenix.
She had a few minutes against the LA Sparks the other night.
5 minutes in LA. And now some minutes here in the third quarter. Lead is down to 3 for Phoenix. Glory Johnson from the hip, fired it up. And here comes Bonnie Turner. Turner crossing over on Glory Johnson, trying to make her way to the hoop. The pass was tipped and intercepted by Johnson. Agumbawale looks up ahead. It's Isabel Harrison beating Taylor to the bucket. And it's a 1-point game. Dallas will not go away. And a strong third quarter so far for Brian Agler's squad. Leilani Mitchell pumps in a three. So 2 3-point hits for Lay here in the third. Yeah, head scratching that she didn't even take 1 3-point attempt. She has been so good from far away over the past month especially. And in the last 5 games, Leilani had made 22 3-pointers, 22 threes in the last 5 games, going 22 of 39. Agumbawale into the lane, contact, and the hoop. She plays with a ferocity, especially for a rookie. 22 years old, so good at Notre Dame, hitting those clutch buzzer beaters in the NCAA Final Four in 2018. And she has really brought some edge and even chippiness here tonight against Phoenix.
She's really good at creating space for herself. Obviously a terrific ball handler, and to be able to make those moves and draw the defense to you and then go by them. And the one player I kind of keep comparing her to is a Cappy Pondexter, with the ability to create their own shot.
8 of 10 from the line for Agumbawale. Back to a 1-point game. High screen by Griner. Camille Little looks inside. Had Griner, but the ball deflected off of the rim and maybe the underside of the backboard. And Griner couldn't corral it. Dallas will have it.
And that's the 8th turnover for the Mercury, and those turnovers are costly for them.
Well, keep an eye on Kayla Davis, too. In the last meeting with Phoenix, here on the Mercury's home floor, she had a spell of 5 or 6 minutes where she connected on 3 to 4 shots, all being able to create her space. There's a push-off by McCarty Williams. And Davis is a very skilled offensive player. Harrison, partially blocked by Griner. Up ahead, they find Breon January. Again, she is out there playing with 4 personal fouls. And then Griner in a tussle now with Kayla Davis. They go nose to nose.
No, I think they're fine. They're fine. They're just talking. And a little pat on the head by Griner.
That was a very interesting exchange. I mean, a physical pick and then the shove. That was a long conversation.
Well, No, Brittany Griner has such a great attitude. She reminds me, she's so effervescent. And, we've seen a little bit of a temper in her, but I think lately we saw it in the All-Star break. I mean, everybody was lovey-dovey.
She is just incredibly likable. That's the thing about Brittany Griner. If you take a look at her shoes, she has one pink one, one yellow one. And she was explaining before the game, the yellow shoe is a SpongeBob sneaker, and the other one is Patrick Star.
Big block.
That's just part of her personality.
Well, and just gives back to the community. And as far as the donations today with the
shoe drive.
Drive.
There's Kayla Davis. Talk about creating space. And another timeout by Sandy Brondello. Kayla Davis coming in off the bench, adding some more punch for Brian Agler and Dallas. They have a 1-point lead here in the third. You're watching Phoenix Mercury basketball, presented by Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 61-60 Dallas here in the third quarter. Kayla Davis has come in off the bench for this Wings team. You see the VIP experience brought to you by Power Crunch Protein Energy Bars. Enter before August 20th at phoenixmercury.com/PowerVIP. But this is a game that Phoenix started to stretch the lead. We're up by 9. Dallas came right out to begin the second half on a 7-0 punch to the face. And all of a sudden now, this game, which has had some minor altercations, I would say, between Breon January and Agunbowale. We just saw Kayla Davis going nose-to-nose with Brittany Griner. Agler was screaming at the officials. Sandy Brondello has had her moments as well. It's been an interesting night so far. It could likely only get more heated. And now an offensive foul and a push-off, they're saying, on Leilani Mitchell. And Phoenix is not going to be happy with that call after a stiff arm in the first half by Agunbowale.
Well, it is a push-off, but you got to learn to fall away a little further.
Dallas outscoring Phoenix 21-14 in the third quarter. They say it goes off of Davis out of bounds. Terrific defense there by Breon January to force the turnover. January now directing the offense. Prior to her injury, she had been struggling mightily, especially from three-point land. 1 of 11 from far away. Inside, Little is swatted. Griner picks up the loose ball, misfires, and the rebound to Kayla Davis. Another player that brings the edge to the floor. The 24-year-old Kayla Davis, whose father Antonio Davis, a longtime NBA player. And there's Kayla with her second hoop here in the third. Dallas now up by 3. They led by as many as 4 in the first quarter. And there's Kayla Davis picking up the personal. Just a lot of chatter going on here with the referees, between the players, the coaches as well. It's been an intense game. The Wings come in just 6-17. Second worst record in the WNBA. Short on the three-point attempt by Little. Phoenix gets it back. January into the lane. Shoots past Gustafson. Difficult shot by Breon January. Gustafson was the college basketball player of the year, but January, being the smart veteran, knows that she lacks some athleticism and bounce, and January went right after her. McCarty Williams floats it up. Leilani Mitchell looks up at the clock, and now Phoenix wants to take the final shot, a reach-in foul on McCarty Williams. And for Dallas now, let's see, that is team foul number 5, so free throws coming for Mitchell.
Yeah, silly foul by McCarty Williams. I thought she had a nice play down here with the little floater, but it was short, and it went right to Mitchell, and she came out running.
Phoenix up by 6 at halftime, trailing by 1. Mitchell misses her first free throw tonight. She hit her last 6. Bonnie Turner was 7 for 7.
Yeah, the guard tandem for both teams had 13 points, all at the free throw line.
Mitchell 82% from the line this season. She is 4th in the WNBA in three-point percentage. She knocked down 2 threes here in the third, and she has tied us up at 63. Final 5 seconds. Agunbowale Defended by January. Runs into the screen. Kayla Davis to end the third quarter. Nearly nailed it just off the front iron. And we are heading to the fourth and final quarter here from Talking Stick Resort Arena in a tie game. Phoenix 63, Dallas 63. Fourth quarter coming up. Wings and the Mercury deadlocked at 63 heading to the fourth quarter. For every Brittany Griner block this season, Avis, the official lock partner of the Phoenix Mercury, is going to donate $50 to Phoenix Children's Hospital. To learn more, go to phoenixmercury.com/promotions. Talk about all the great work, and you mentioned the shoe drive here. Proceeds going to the Phoenix Mission, and Brittany with the swat in the third quarter.
Yeah, the fans love her, but nice block from behind. Thornton looked like she had a wide open shot. She recovered it, but Griner has to be considered as a defensive player of the year also, which she has won in the past. And I know that the Dallas Wings are hoping to put Kayla Thornton in that position also.
And Griner tied with Jonquel Jones in blocks per game, 2.1 for both of those players. And they'll meet up Wednesday here at Talking Stick Resort Arena when the Connecticut Sun come to town. Start of the fourth quarter, Phoenix goes to Griner. They throw a double team at her. They lead Breon January. January, one dribble pull up, and it was blocked there by Alicia Gray.
Yeah, and that's maybe not playing because she had a wide open shot and she hesitated.
Dallas outscored Phoenix 23-17 in the third quarter to tie it up at 63. Kayla Davis with a couple buckets off the bench. Agunbawale, head down, floats it up over Griner. And Agunbawale now with 16 points, 4 field goals, and 8 at the stripe. Inside, Bonner against Kayla Davis, had Davis sealed. And a couple free throws coming for DeWanna Bonner. Good mismatch inside. Bonner using her length.
Well, Bonner recognized that she had defense facing her rather than playing three quarters and seeing both ball and player. And she was trying to get Vonnie Turner to get the ball over to Little at the high post for that high-low pass.
Bonner hits the first free throw. Leilani Mitchell back out there for Phoenix. Camille Little comes out. So it's Griner and Breonna Turner with DeWanna Bonner, Vonnie Turner, and Leilani Mitchell, the 5 on the floor for Phoenix. Bonner in double figures with 10. I mentioned the last 2 games, she scored 10 points. Had been leading the league in scoring most of this season. Was giving up that mantle to Griner. Pull up J by Agunbawale. Ripped out of there by Vonnie Turner. Turner using a screen from Breezy Turner. Gets it over to Griner. Into the corner. Vonnie Turner drives in. Floats it up with the left hand. Got it and one. Driving to her left. Finishing with her right through the contact.
Vonnie Turner is struggling from the floor. She was 1 of 4 and gets the drive going opposite and swings it back over to her right hand and flips it up there for the basket. She's got 12 points and 4 players in double figures for the Mercury. They are 8-0 this season when 4 or more players score 10-plus points.
Foul was assessed to Gustafson. That's her third, and a 3-point play for Yvonne Turner.
And McGee Stafford, we have not seen her because of those 5 fouls.
5 fouls in about 8 minutes of play. Kayla Davis going one-on-one against Breonna Turner. Alicia Gray. And it's rebounded by Bonner. That was Brittany Griner with the rebound. And for Griner, that's her 4th board. Inside, with the inside position once again, it's Bonner going at Kayla Davis.
Well, that's what happens when Thornton is out of the game and Bonner taking advantage of the defense on her.
And a timeout called by Brian Agler. DeWanna Bonner now. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and her Mercury on top by 5. Start of 4 straight here at home. That means the train is chugging away here during a timeout in the 4th quarter. Love that when they allow the fans down onto the floor.
7:57 to go here in the fourth quarter, and Dewana Bonner in double figures with 12.
Yeah, she's made this last basket. Again, we talked about her ability to, post up. She's such a versatile player because of her size, but Kayla Thornton has done a terrific job on her, holding her from 2 of 7 from the floor, but she gets to have the opportunity to score a basket when she was posting up on Davis inside.
So Mercury 7-2 advantage over Dallas, scoring-wise here to start the fourth quarter. Alicia Gray stripped by Leilani Mitchell. Such a pesky defender.
Did a nice job overplaying the left side. Oh, good
crossover. Bonnie Turner, but she's sent away.
And Igwe with the block.
Back the other way, and then the pass is picked off by Bonner.
12 turnovers for the Wings, 9 for the Mercury.
Mitchell. Bounce pass to Griner. One dribble, shoulder down, barrels into Glory Johnson, gets her own miss, finds an open Brianna Turner, up and under, and they're going to call a foul there on Christine Anigwe. What an interesting story she is. The rookie from Cal, who was born in London. We mentioned earlier that she went to high school here in the Phoenix area at Desert Vista. Led the nation in rebounding. I mean, these are just absurd numbers. 16.2 rebounds per game. Defensive Player of the Year. And the only player to have a 30-30 game for Cal. Had 32 points, 30 rebounds against Washington State. And don't forget the fact, too, that going back to her sophomore year, Annie, she had a 50-point game.
Yeah, she was the National Freshman Player of the Year in 2016, a two-time All-Pac-12 and Pac-12 tournament team member. But again, averaging over 16 rebounds a game, you called it. She had 28 points, 25 rebounds against Brown. In that Washington State game, 32 points, 30 rebounds.
Agunbawale trying to dial up a three. Wasn't close, and then a loose ball foul. They're going to keep it here. It's on Dewana Bonner. A win tonight for Bonner and the Mercury. They would improve to 8-2 at home and win its 5th consecutive game on their home floor.
And a badly needed win. They are 11-11, 12 games left, including this one. They're 4.5 games out of first place.
Yeah, room to move up, but only a half game behind number 7 Minnesota, a game behind number 6 Seattle. They have a fairly comfortable lead on the 9th seed right now in New York, up by 3 games on the Liberty.
Now, we talked about Turner and her rebounding ability and having an understanding where the ball is, and Igwe has that too.
Of course, the top 8 teams in the WNBA will make the playoffs. Phoenix was hoping to avoid more elimination games. They have had to fight through those single-game elimination rounds the last 3 years. Agunbawale, shot clock at 3, at 2. Turner reaching in. Alicia Gray from behind the line. And down it goes. And now we've got Brittany Griner going after Anigwe, and this could get ugly. Griner is being held back by numerous players and now trying to throw punches. Agler now is being pushed along the sideline on the press row. My goodness. It has been intense and chippy, and now still going after it and trying to be restrained was Anigwe.
You know, we talked about the easygoing attitude of Brittany Griner. She's had enough of it.
She went nose to nose with Kayla Davis, who now Davis is saying, all right, let's help calm things down. But Brittany Griner on her bobblehead night was hoping to celebrate with a victory and help lead her team. But boy, she has a wicked look on her face right now. And now Jen Gillum putting her in a bear hug. Brian Agler was being smashed against the press table as this breaks out in the fourth quarter of a hotly contested game. Brittany Griner now being led back to the locker room by Jen Gillum. So no doubt she has been ejected from this game. We have not received official word on any other punishment. And I still would really like to see what happened there in the corner. We were blocked from our vantage point, but it broke out right in front of the Phoenix Mercury bench.
Yeah, Gray knocked down that shot, that three-pointer, right at the buzzer. And as you said, none of us really saw that corner, what was happening. And it was with Inigwe that she went after.
See the Mercury in the huddle circling their troops as Griner went to the locker room. But that is the 6'9" Griner. It took 3 or 4 players, coaches, officials to keep her away from Inigwe.
The last time I saw something like that was the LA Sparks against the Detroit Shock with Bill Lambier and Rick Mahorn and Delisha Milton-Jones and Lisa Leslie. And it was, pretty intense, just like that.
And Annie, we've been talking about the emotions in this game from the beginning. I mean, fouls that were not called, a stiff arm by Agunbowale, going nose-to-nose, Kayla Davis, along with Brittany Griner, and then you had Breon January exchanging words with Agunbowale. But difficult to get a look at this and what started the fracas. But there is no question that Brittany Griner was incensed and going after Inigwe, who had just checked in a couple of minutes ago.
Well, it's tough when you don't have a lot of cameras to be able to see what you'd like to see, and certainly the officials are checking out the camera angle that they have.
So we have the aftermath, not actually what caused this, but there is Griner going after Inigwe, being tackled by the official, being held back from behind by Leilani Mitchell, trying to throw punches over the top of the official. And then you have Agler up against the press table. This was a scary incident.
Well, Dallas was running away from the play.
Yeah,
and when you had 6'9" and long praying mantis arms coming at you.
Of Brittany Griner.
Well, right now, how are the Mercury going to regroup? You know, they're losing their best player, their best scorer, who was having a terrific third quarter, and an intimidator on the defensive side. The Wings have cut it to 3. They feel very confident. They've played this Mercury team tough the last 2 times. They lost by 5 and 4. And so they feel that they've got an advantage over the Mercury. Certainly Thornton has played very well, been very aggressive. Yes, it's been a physical game. We saw that in the second quarter and how many free throws were shot. But whatever happened between Griner and Inigwe, hopefully we'll find out after the game.
Billy Smith, Tim Green, Ashley Gilpin looking at the replays. And again, nobody has a good angle at what started it in the corner, and they're in front of that Mercury bench. Although they are actually having a good look at it right now.
Yeah, we can't see.
Yeah, we can't see it. That's the first look as they were rewinding it. A good wide angle to see what started it in the corner.
Yeah, Ashley Gilpin's arm is in the way that we really can't see it.
Keep an eye underneath the basket. And there was definitely some contact down below. So there you can see Inigwe being boxed out by by Griner. Griner
they get
had
their
that
arms
arm
locked
up.
They got their arms locked up, and you see Inigwe pulling away, and it must have pulled in a way that Griner was not happy about, obviously.
And we've seen that before so many times with Griner at 6'9", turning, boxing out, and because she's so tall, a lot of times those elbows get above shoulder level. And it looked like that was what happened with Inigwe. Then, like you said, they got tangled up, and from there, fireworks between the two teams.
Well, the biggest thing is going to be suspensions coming down.
Still trying to determine if there will be any more punishment. Again, we saw Jen Gillum taking Brittany Griner through the tunnel toward the locker room before there was any official announcement of an ejection.
Now, Jen Gillum is back out on the court for the Mercury.
Interesting sight, too. One of the fans is showing Sandy Brondello footage on his cell phone right there in front of the Mercury bench. So the fan has his cell phone out, and he's showing Sandy Brondello what he has on his phone. So a lot of times their fans are getting access through their mobile devices of angles that we may not have even seen.
Well, Ray McKiernan is a season ticket holder, big supporter for the Phoenix Mercury. And you're right, he's showing...
He has a nice crowd over there watching him. There he is with the light blue shirt. Now Julia Haregrove has come over to take a look at what he is showing them. A lot of time... So we're finally getting official word as to any possible ejections. Taurasi has been ejected for coming off the bench. January for leaving the bench has been ejected. And Kayla Davis has been ejected for leaving the bench. All right, here's the announcement. I try to keep track of all of the ejections that were made. We mentioned the 3 players that came off the bench. Kayla Thornton has been ejected as well. We mentioned Brittany Griner. Taurasi, Breon January. We'll get the full total. Hopefully it'll appear on the scoreboard here on the stat board. But there goes Diana Taurasi.
Well, certainly we haven't seen something like this happen very often in the WNBA. And you can see how both benches, as far as players on the bench, wanting to come out and help and protect their teammates.
So here you have it, the ejections for the fight itself. Griner, Thornton, and Anigwe. And then for leaving the bench, it's Taurasi along with Breon January and Kayla Davis. 6 players have been ejected. Of course, Taurasi was not active for this game, but 6 different players have been tossed. Just a very unique situation here. You very rarely see a fan going over to the coaching staff and even some of the players, showing them the mobile phone footage that he has of the fight, and then the officials, after numerous reviews and replays, tossing 6 different players: Griner, Thornton, Anigwe, January, Taurasi, and Kayla Davis. So here we go. 6:15 to go in the 4th quarter.
It's been more than 10 minutes with these teams resting.
Deep 3 by Bonner. And the rebound to Ogunbowale.
And McGee Stafford in the game, and certainly with Griner out of the game, that you're going to see Dallas come inside. They throw the ball away that time. Johnson trying to get it to McGee Stafford.
What's going on with these Arizona teams lately? I was up late watching the Dodgers Diamondbacks game. Went extra innings. And your fight broke out toward the end of that one with Archie Bradley closing things off.
Yeah.
And then there was words exchanged. Even Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, had to be restrained.
always just fun and games here in professional sports. We could feel that brewing throughout the course of this game. These two teams have lit their competitive fire to the extent that it resulted in 6 ejections. And again, going back, if you're just joining us, earlier in the game, there were words exchanged. There were fouls that stiff arm by Agumbawale. We then had words with Breon January and then Brittany Griner. Nose to nose with Kayla Davis, though that never became, physical.
No, I thought that was, even though Davis pushed Griner on that screen, but you're right, it was just kind of talking the words. And then Griner put her hand on Davis's head like, okay, let's get back to playing.
And Anigwe, who was just acquired from Connecticut, and before the shot, a holding foul on Dallas. But, Anigwe, who had just joined this team after being acquired Tuesday from Connecticut for Teresa Plaisance. She was backpedaling as fast as she could to get away from Brittany Griner, who was in hot pursuit.
Now the Mercury at the penalty, as the Wings have 5 fouls and only 1 for the Mercury.
It could be a similar situation in that second quarter when Phoenix put up 18 free throws when Dallas was in the penalty situation early.
Biggest lead has been 9 points by the Mercury.
Did you ever get into a fight one of your playing days? You better be honest, because we can find that footage.
Yes, but you won't find footage.
I am not surprised.
You won't find footage.
You had some fire in that belly. You still do. Glory Johnson from deep. 3-point shot for Glory.
The Wings, 6 of 17 from 3-point range.
And now on the dribble handoff, trying to fight through the screen was Gray. Busted for the foul, and free throws for Mitchell. Now Leilani, 9 of 10 from the line so far tonight. Her partner in the backcourt, Yvonne Turner's, hit all 8 of her free throws. So combined, they have 17 points from the free throw line this evening.
Gray just picking up her first foul.
And Mitchell just continues to impress with her offense. Last 4 games averaging 21, and she's working on 20 points right now. She could make it 21 with this free throw.
Yeah, just her leadership.
There it is, 21 again for Leilani. Last 6 games, she has netted 24 three-pointers total. Gumbawale. Contact pushed off on Turner to create that space, but couldn't make it. Bonner looks up ahead, looking for Brianna Turner. It's tipped out of bounds by Dallas. Phoenix will have it. 4:12 to go in the fourth.
The Mercury leading on the boards 31-23.
Only 2 players right now on the Dallas bench after the ejections.
Both bigs.
Mitchell sidesteps to the left. Yeah, so Dallas loses 3 players to ejections. Of course, Diana Taurasi went out for Phoenix, and she was not active as the Mercury lost Griner in January. Johnson again for 3, wide left. Bonner knocked down, going after the rebound.
The travel.
Bonner slow to get up, being helped up by Yvonne Turner. Phoenix will have possession.
Yeah, Bonner fell on her back in the LA Sparks game. And gotten banged up quite a bit this season.
She hurt, I believe it was her elbow in the last home game against Washington. Sophie Cunningham went out of that game as well with a foot injury. And stepping out of bounds was Yvonne Turner. Sandy Brondello slams the scorer's table right in front of us.
10 turnovers now for the Mercury. 14 for the Wings.
Phoenix fighting for their playoff lives.
I mean, you got to
Wings
take care
fighting
of
for respectability and trying to end an 18-game road losing streak going on after the last 2 seasons. Dallas 0-11 this year. The only winless team on the road. Atlanta
next with just one victory away from home. Isabel Harrison. Pitch it out to Ogunbowale. Ogunbowale. Back to Harrison. Baseline J comes off. Ogunbowale with the stick back. Offensive rebound by Arike.
That's her second rebound.
The lead is 2. Turner now pulls it back. Hands it off to Mitchell. Phoenix trying to regroup, trying to hang on to this lead. It led by as many as 9. Mitchell driving in. Hangs and hits. Terrific move by Lay. 23 now for Mitchell.
It's a Becky Hammond move.
Tucked it away, protected the basketball, and then the beautiful finish. 2.5 to go. Arike offline. Another rebound for Turner. She has 10, coming off those 14 rebounds she had in LA against the Sparks. 24 rebounds in the last 2 games for the rookie, Brianna Turner. Turner trying to drive in. Forces a shot up over Harrison. Strong offensive rebound. Going to the glass was Camille Little, and now a tug-of-war. And that was a energetic offensive rebound by Camille Little, as both teams are down on players after 6 were ejected following the fracas between Brittany Griner and Anigwe. 2:08 to go. Can Phoenix hang on? They're up 4. Both teams depleted in terms of numbers because of the 6 ejections that occurred here in the fourth quarter. Dallas with only 2 subs on their bench. Phoenix still trying to make a move up the standings for the playoffs. 3 games up on number 9, New York, and you can see at the top of the heap is Connecticut along with Washington, both 16 and 7. The Sun will be here on Wednesday. Sparks, the hottest team. Winners of 8 of their last 10. The Aces have put it together, even in the absence of Asia Wilson. And a terrific season in Chicago for the Sky. So they called a jump ball between Harrison and Camille Little after that offensive board by Camille. 2:08 to go. Dallas in the penalty situation. Phoenix has only 1 team foul. Dallas controls the tip. Ogunbowale has put up 17 shots here tonight to go along with 10 free throw attempts. McGee Stafford hands it off to Ogunbowale. Arika driving in on Turner, and then they're going to say a bump and a foul on Vonnie.
Well, you just can't say it enough. Ogunbowale, as far as her attacking the basket, she goes right at Turner, gets the edge on her, and stops, and the defense runs right into her.
That's a veteran move there, knowing that she had Yvonne Turner on her hip and leaned back to create that contact, though misses the first free throw. Now 8 of 11 from the line for Ogunbowale, 5 of 17 from the field, 18 points leading Dallas. Misses them both. Solid box out by Camille Little to secure that rebound. 4-point lead for Phoenix. Minute 40 to go. Mitchell pulls it back. Difficult shot. Good defense by McCarty Williams. Draped all over Leilani Mitchell. Another attack by Ogunbowale and another trip to the line. She is relentless.
Yeah, this is the most free throws she's had in her career in the WNBA so far.
Came in averaging 20 points in her last 3 games. Missed her last 2 free throws. But if she hits them both here, she will be back to that 20-point mark. But more importantly, she can cut the lead to 2.
In the first 3 games against Phoenix, she was only averaging just over 10 points and shot 25% from the floor. She's got 20 points now.
And a 2-point game. Turner just 2 of 8 shooting in this one for Phoenix. Gives it up to Bonner. She's just 3 of 9 from the floor. The good news for her is Kayla Thornton is not around to defend her after Thornton was ejected off the side of the backboard. Bonner gets it back. trying to force it up. Shot clock ready to blow up on Phoenix, and they toss it over to McCarty Williams. And now McCarty Williams making her move, but a timeout called by her coach, Brian Agler. So Dallas will have it. They'll inbound it in front of the Phoenix Mercury bench. 53.5 seconds to go. And we are back from Phoenix after this. 77-75 Phoenix. Duana Bonner, who's led the league in scoring for most of the season, 12 points, 10 rebounds, but could not get off a good shot on that last possession. And then Brian Agler calling the timeout so he could set up a critical play here. Long inbounds play, cross court, nearly taken away by Phoenix, but Agunbowale with possession and the hoop. Enrique dives in for the basket. And now we get a whistle called. I think Sandy Brondello calling a timeout. Hold on. And now we have miscommunication between the coaching staff, the officials. They're bringing Dallas back onto the floor. It looked like Brondello may have called timeout. But Agunbowale has tied the game up at 77. There's still confusion here. Ashley Gilpin, the referee, blew her whistle after the made hoop. But incredible shot by Enrique. You've talked about Enrique's shooting numbers, Annie, and not always impressive. Lots of field goal attempts, very assertive, but boy, that was a big-time basket.
Well, Camille Little looked like she was going to come up with the defensive play of the game and just couldn't quite handle it. It was a loose ball, and Ogunbowale was right there, and she just made a nice up and under move, and using the glass had a great angle and got underneath the defense. And Sandy Brondello, quick timeout. I don't know what the confusion was by the officials, because Sandy Brondello right away had called a timeout after the made basket.
Been a long night for the referees. You got pushed around during that altercation, and a hold Brittany Griner back. Here at one point trying to protect Brian Agler.
Well, the Mercury need a better shot than they did on their last possession.
Mitchell zips it into Turner.
And this is where they miss Brittany Griner.
Leilani forced all the way
Too
out
much
near
on the
mid-court.
outside.
Shot clock at 10. One-on-one against McCarty Williams. High screen Little. And then picked off, taken away by Isabel Harrison.
Oh.
Harrison on the runaway. Finger rolls it home. Another timeout call by Phoenix. That offensive set went nowhere for Phoenix. Dallas comes up with the steal, and Isabel Harrison hitting the Jets, taking it the distance.
Yeah, Harrison really reading that pick and roll, and again, time running down for the Mercury, and Leilani Mitchell dribbled right into it. Good hands by Harrison with the steal, and she almost looked like she was going to double dribble, but right there comes away with it. Ball was poked away a little bit by Turner, but good control by Harrison to lay it up in front of the rim, and they take a 2-point lead.
What a gritty performance by Dallas in this one.
So normally, Sandy Brondello, this is where you rely on Brittany Griner. You go inside, but is Bonner going to step up, and is she going to set out there and shoot a three? They don't need a three. There's plenty of time. You'd like to see Mitchell or Turner get inside the lane. Mitchell's a good three-point shooter, but they've got to get an open look.
It's Alicia Gray defensively on Duana Bonner. They set a baseline screen for Bonner. They throw the double team at her. Dribbles out of it. Passes inside. Brianna Turner, it comes off. Turner chasing down the miss. Harrison was there. It looked like it went off of Isabel Harrison, and it did. They will review it with 15.1 to go. Great hustle by the rookie Turner.
Yeah, but a shot that, you'd like to see her make. She's got to finish that, and she hasn't been in that situation a lot for the Mercury, obviously.
An unbelievable blind pass, too, by Duana Bonner. They were draped all over her. She went into the air and somehow found Brianna Turner open under the hoop.
Now the Mercury get another opportunity if the officials see that the ball is not going the other way.
Yeah, it was other side of the court from us, but it did appear that Isabel Harrison was the last one to touch it.
But Turner did not give up on the play, which the Mercury needed the ball.
See if we can see it from this angle.
Wow, that's going to be close.
Well, if they can't...
If they don't have the conclusive evidence, Phoenix will have possession. And at least from that angle, that's going to be difficult to determine. This is from the opposite side. Yeah, was it the back of the hand from Brianna Turner? Was it Isabel Harrison who pushed that ball out of bounds? That's exactly what the officials are talking about now. Was that ball pushed by the hand of Isabel Harrison? And that seems to be the direction they're headed. I think Phoenix is going to maintain possession here.
Well, like you said, the different angles that they're looking at. And if it's inconclusive, it should go back to the Mercury. But, the big play right now for the Wings was the steal by Harrison and the breakaway layup. Put them ahead.
The former draft pick of the Phoenix Mercury, Isabel Harrison. They're actually saying it's going to be Dallas ball. They're saying it's off of Brianna Turner, and the Wings will have it. 15.1 to go, up by 2. And now Brian Agler will burn a timeout.
And now you look at free throws.
They were also looking at the clock as well, so they added 0.5 seconds. 15.6 to go here in the fourth. We're back right after this. So both teams in the penalty situation. Phoenix will likely go after a quick steal or commit a fairly quick foul. Difficulty getting inbounds. It's slapped away into the backcourt, picked up by Agunbowale. Being chased by Bonnie Turner, who finally reaches in, commits that foul with 10.6 to go. Well, that was a high-speed chase right there between Yvonne Turner and Agunbowale.
Well, you could tell that the Mercury did not want the ball in Ogunbowale's hands. And she is so good, they got it to her in the backcourt and took 5 seconds off the clock.
She has missed 4 free throws tonight. Sinks that one. Comes in shooting 81% from the line.
She's 11 of 15 right now.
Working on her 23 points and trying to give Dallas a 4-point lead. Misses the second. Loose rebound going out of bounds. Saved by Agunbowale, who somehow finds McCarty Williams. McCarty Williams trying to dribble out the final seconds, and Dallas is going to win this game. Phoenix does not commit a foul in the final few seconds after the offensive rebound, and terrific hustle by Agunbowale, who ran down her own missed free throw and somehow found McCarty Williams. What a bizarre night at Talking Stick Resort Arena, where 6 players were ejected on Brittany Griner bobblehead night. Griner, one of those players who was ejected. Dallas wins it. It's their first win on the road all season.